was walking down the street, feeling kindly, when the wind came out your butt to my wig on. Oh, it was a sight to see. My hair flying in the breeze, 'cause the wind came out your butt to my wig on. People started laughing, they couldn't believe their eyes as my wig flew through the sky. Oh, what a surprise! I tried to catch it, but it slipped right through my hands. 'Cause the wind came out your butt, and now somewhere in the land. Oh, the wind came out your butt to my wig on. Baby, you try like shit. You can see the car that you almost hit. I'd rather take the bus instead. Riding with you, I'm gonna end up dead. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you try like shit. She just ran through always style. I ain't trying to get stopped by the cops. Baby, why the hell did I let you drive? It's a miracle that you're still alive. Don't ask me if I need a lift. Baby, you drive like shit. Oh, 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 oh. Look out, my girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Whoa, 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 whoa. My girl is driving. Watch out, my girl drives like shit. Gotta let you know I will fuck you up. I whip that ass, talking all that shit, spank that ass till you down like a bitch. So I ain't playing. I'm here to get that. Whoop that ass. It's time to touch base. I'm the one who brings you pain in the rain. I whoop that ass until the bell rings. Already know that I do not play. Go up like I'm cutting down hay. I whoop that ass every single night. Spank that ass till they stop the fight. I'll tell you the story of a man on radioactive tips in his hand. His hand 10 times his normal size to help him get his money on time. He knew it, the bitch was telling a lie, which was 100% of the time. Superpower to make a bitch listen, and get her naked with sex wave vision. Keep a police station in a single bound, slapping bitches down to the fucking ground. His name was famous across the land. They called him the pimp named Superhand. Oh shit, yeah, the pimp named Superhand. He had powers no other pimp had. Oh fuck yeah, pimp named Superhand. The motherfucker was Superman. Asking for dinner ain't asking for much. You had one job and still fuck it up. You gotta learn respect. I use my gift and to correct. It's called a bitch slap. Come get your because you like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad to teach you, you should ask yourself who taught you to hate being what God made you.
Welcome back. Welcome back. In the building one more evening. I'm your host, School for Justice, here where we live, love, laugh, and conquer police brutality. And on tonight, we're in North Carolina, where we have an officer who arrests the wrong woman, physically assaults her, and charges her, and arrests. So sit back, relax, get your popcorn, get your wine, get whatever you may need, and let's jump on in the show. Give me just a second. Hold on. All right, y'all. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this content play, right? Then I'll come in and fact check. So I'm just going to let it play full screen where, I might not be on the camera. All right, give me a second. I'm working on it. Thanks for your patience. All right, y'all. So we just saw that there, the content in full. So now, come to find out, this woman was mental, and they were looking for a different suspect. All right. So we're gonna continue to jump on into the content. Smash that like button, and I appreciate your support.
So a cop gets, well, canned after being caught on video doing what? Punching a black woman. Here it is.
I don't have a warrant. I don't have a warrant or it's in the house. What are you doing? I don't have a warrant. What's that in the house?
Let go. I got her.
Ow.
I got her.
Ow.
Usually.
All right, y'all. So I showed the full content up front. All right. Sorry about the in between, but all in all, that was the full video, right? Where we see the other officer, black officer comes in, say, let her go, let her go. I got her. After the officer was just beating her down, throwing strikes, throwing blows, throwing punches. Then we see the other two backup officers and the sergeant come on the scene saying, cooperate, woman, cooperate, put your hands behind your back and do what I say. All right, so now we're going to continue to go on into the content to get a little bit more detail in depth about what's going on, what happened, and why the officers arrested this young woman. All right, so appreciate your support, and we can share our thoughts.
Leadership of a police department is required to have a response to these incidents. In this case, we have the chief of police responding. Here it is.
Effective 8:30 this morning, the officer involved in this incident has been terminated from employment with the Shelby Police Department. In addition, the findings of our administrative investigation have been turned over to the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation for an independent review of any criminal violations. This step is being taken to ensure transparency, accountability, and public confidence in our actions as a law enforcement agency. As I stated yesterday, community trust is the foundation of effective policing. The officers, telecommunicators, and leadership of the Shelby Police Department remain committed to maintaining and strengthening that trust every day. Our agency is guided by the core values of honesty, teamwork, integrity, professionalism, and respect, and we hold ourselves accountable to those standards.
If you didn't go to the ER after a car accident, listen up. I got $96,000 for my accident in 57 days, and I only had what?
All right, we skip the ad.
You do, chief.
So we see that the officer was terminated. He was fired, but he did not lose his license, which means he's still a police officer, a professional officer, and he could just go to another department. He could go work for a different police department in a different county. That's all that means. So that's the issue at hand. So let's dig in a little bit further into the content about what all actually happened and why the officers arrested this young woman in the first place.
Mass. I know what the chief said sounded. It sounded good. It sounded as if he's an advocate for good policing and stands against policing that's antithetical to the movement of progress and respect. I know that. But this North Carolina police chief did not say some things that should have been said on the record. Number one, he is the chief of a sworn agency whose sole responsibility is to, in fact, figure out what the hell a crime is and is not. He's the first agency who gets to investigate if there's a crime. We don't have you in that position, chief, for you to investigate administrative policy violations. You could turn that over to your internal department. You are there as a crime enforcement agent, period. And all of a sudden, when there's a crime committed by someone who wears a similar suit that you wear to work, you don't know what the hell a crime is. So you now send that crime off to another agency to investigate?
Well, my concern is this. They never had a warrant for this girl's arrest. She consistently says that there's no warrant for me. There is no warrant for my arrest. So the key factor is, did they indeed have a warrant for this young woman's arrest? Because the information and the legal documents say there was no warrant for her arrest. They were looking for a different suspect. And this girl here, this woman here, she's 34 years old, is professionally diagnosed mentally ill. So this is where we're at, people.
A North Carolina police officer has been fired after a viral doorbell camera moment shows him repeatedly punching a woman during an arrest. As officers tried to handcuff her after the incident, the woman requested mental health care, said she was off her medication, and repeatedly requested for officers to, at the very least, call her father. Her father told CNN that she has a broken nose, she has 2 black eyes, and her lip is cut, and she has to be tested for a possible concussion. It is unclear what happened in the moments prior to the video. That does not matter. The camera was motion activated and only started recording when it detected the officer and the woman, that's according to the homeowner, whom CNN agreed not to name due to their concern for privacy after the story went viral. I want you to put the picture back up, Jordan. What happened prior is so non-material to what this officer did that the chief of police did not cite what happened prior as a way to dissuade judgment against the cop.
All right, people. So this is the young woman. We see she got 2 black eyes. It was reported she got cut lip, she got a busted nose, and all these different physical injuries. Now, we heard during the actual live video, the footage that went viral, she says, I am mentally ill. I have mental diagnosis. She has not taken her medication, and she requested that you call her father. She asked the police officers 3-4 times, call my father. I have mental diagnosis. I'm mentally incompetent, and I have not took my medication. Did the officers listen? No. They was physically worried about handcuffing her. And a sergeant comes on the scene screaming and hollering, you do what we say. That's what the content shows. And this is her physical injuries. Her father also stated she has to go get diagnosed for a CAT scan. She might have head injury or injuries to the head or the brain. So this is what's going on, people. We're in North Carolina tonight, where a 34-year-old mental patient was physically attacked, abused, and brutalized by the police officer when they had no warrant for her arrest. They arrested the wrong suspect. All right? So share your thoughts as we continue.
So understand that even the chief isn't defending whatever happened prior. What we know based on the footage. The video starts with the officer and the woman standing, their hands touching. The officer then wrestles the woman to the ground. She is heard saying, quote, I don't have a warrant, and asks, quote, what are you doing? End quote. The officer then punches her multiple times, apparently in the face and in the upper body. A second officer then steps in to pull them apart as the first officer continues punching her. The second officer says, let go, repeating, I got her. A third officer then arrives and the officers try to handcuff the woman. She asks if she could receive medical health care and request the officers please contact her father multiple times. Who are the police officers talking to? When he says, let her go, when he says, let go, he says, I got her. That means let her go. That means the officer sees another cop engaged in unlawful force.
And my concern and issue is, why do you feel the need to physically fist fight, to throw blows, to throw strikes, to handcuff? Now, we are trained, rookies 101 in basic training before you're certified and sworn into duty, how to properly handcuff adults, how to properly handcuff people and physically arrest them according to the laws in that order properly. So why do you feel the need to fight and physically throw strikes and blows, punch and beat somebody down in order to handcuff, especially a female? So I'm trying to figure out, what's the cause and all of that? Excessive force use, because that's exactly what it was, and a crime was committed of assault. All right. So what do you think? Share your thoughts.
I know some people call it excessive force. Excessive force is unlawful. Excessive is a massage term for you to accept it. Excessive force is unlawful force, period. Okay? Put him up full mask. A father identified the woman in the video as his 34-year-old child. Quote, "I was so upset. Why is this man doing this to my daughter? What reason? And she's sick." End quote. Gregory Moore said, referencing her mental health condition. Moore said his daughter suffers from mental health and substance abuse issues, but said his daughter did not swing back at the officer. He explained she frequently walks around the community, the neighborhood, quote, "Her mind just won't let her sit down," end quote, Moore said. Quote, "She walks around like she has no place to go, and the man must have thought she really didn't have a family, that nobody loves her," end quote. His daughter is in a safe place and resting now, her father said, adding, she said she was sore and does not want to talk about what happened.
All right. So they're assuming that she was homeless and didn't have no family because the young woman has mental illness. So she walked around, talking to herself and as if she didn't have anywhere to go. But even though she did these abnormal or strange things in her behavior, she was not violent. She wasn't violent towards herself and towards other people. So clearly the police knew. They're fully aware of mental illness. And when someone is mentally disabled or has a mental defect, and that shows they took advantage of that because she didn't have no family right there on hand. She was alone right there and nobody was there to speak up for her or help keep her safe. All right, so we got an officer beat a woman down, a mentally ill woman, beat her down to the ground, saying he had a warrant on her, and come to find out there was no warrant. He had the wrong suspect. We're in North Carolina tonight, so let's continue. The video went viral all on Instagram, Facebook, hitting the main platforms that we attack police brutality. And this is the topic for tonight. So share your thoughts on according to the law in we're in North Carolina.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
All right.
So the woman in the video was actually charged. She was charged with breaking and entering, resisting a public officer, and assault on a government official or employee.
Breaking and entering. She's charged with breaking and entering where? Right? So her charges are breaking and entering, resisting a public officer, assault on a government official or employee. What? Give me a break. Get out of here. Breaking and entering where? They was looking for a different suspect is what was going on. And they arrested the wrong person. They had a warrant for a certain woman and she was not her. They locked up the wrong person who was mentally ill.
That's according to a warrant for her arrest that was issued on a Friday. She was initially held on a $10,000 bond, but court records says that she was released
on an unsecured bond. The charges against the woman have not yet been dropped. Before I continue, the officer was not named officially. In addition to that, you have the microcosm and macrocosm of reality happening at one time. The microcosm is obviously the unfortunate reality of what happened to this woman and the fact that a crime was done to her by a man in uniform who should have been arrested by the second cop who told him to get off of her. That's called integrity.
Right, so that's a strong point, people. All right, so while he's physically attacking this young woman, got her to the ground, throwing blows and strikes on her. We saw the content. I played it first up front in the beginning of this live stream. Another officer who runs over there, and this was a white officer who attacked the black young woman. He's physically beating her down. Then we have a black officer, male officer, who runs over there, his co-worker, and says, hey, man, listen, let her go, I got her. Now, what was he supposed to do, the co-worker, the black man who comes in to try to protect the black woman as the white officer is beating her down? So he sees that this lady's rights is being violated. He goes over there and say, just let her go, as we witness on the content. I have her, right? Was he not supposed to report his co-worker for police brutality? But it never happened. Was he not supposed to arrest his own co-worker for committing a crime? And that charge would have been assault. Aggravated assault is what it should have been. But this officer, he just tries to stop him. Hey, man, look, I got it. Just let her go. I'll handcuff her. And nothing is done about it. Matter of fact, situation got worse because we see the outcome. Look at this woman's face. Look at her medical report. So the officer who's the eyewitness of this woman being physically attacked and brutalized does absolutely nothing. Does not report it to his superior. And we have it all on camera.
Chief, that means your department would be leading the nation in integrity if you did that. That also means that community and cop trust would go to an all-time high in your local community if you had cops who had the guts to do that. Number two, the macrocosm of a failing and never truly functional mental health system in the United States of America. This woman is being criminalized for simply having a disorder. Put him up full mask.
Bullseye. And this is the bullpen. Shout out to the bullpen. And that's exactly right. This woman is being criminalized for having a mental disorder. She was singled out. She was targeted. And she was attacked. All right. So share your thoughts. What do you see and what do you think? And what changes needs to be done in our community?
Meanwhile, the officer, who was not named officially by the department, was fired following an administrative investigation, according to the Shelby Police Department, the chief, Brad Frazier. An arrest warrant for the woman shows an officer named Carson Hyder was trying to arrest her. CNN is attempting to reach Hyder for comment. Indisputable would love to hear the comment from Officer Hyder. The police department provided the findings of the investigation to the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation for an independent review of any criminal violations. The chief said, quote, "We understand the community has questions and concerns, and we take that very seriously." Chief Hawley, the director of the Bureau, said in a statement Saturday, quote, "We ask the public to be patient as we conduct our work." Though the officer was fired by the Shelby Police Department on Saturday morning, the Moores are seeking justice by pressing charges on the officer as soon as possible. Quote, "There still needs to be something more done about that. That man should not have put a badge back on again. He should not drive in another police car unless he's going to jail, said Moore, who says his daughter is upset and shaken by the arrest. She has a court date set for 8:30 a.m. on June 5th for those underlying charges. Put up the family attorney.
Have you seen the average auto insurance rate in Georgia? It's crazy. I don't know how anyone can afford to live there. Georgians are paying over $2,400 per year on average for.
All right, skipping the ad.
Ronald Hayes Jr. told CNN, quote, "This has devastated our community and furthered the distrust between the African-American community and the police," end quote.
All right, so she went to court this morning, actually. Ben Crump got involved inside the case because it went pretty viral, how publicity profile. So I did see some footage where Ben Crump is involved. That's the family attorney there. But here's the kicker. Here's the question. You ask yourself, you share your thoughts, and we can, go back and forth in the chat. I can correspond to you in the chat. Now, he was fired. The officer was fired for physically attacking her. But should he have not been, his license, his badge been taken? Because he's still an officer. He still can go anywhere on any other police department. And should he have not been charged with committing a crime, which would be assault? So should he have not been charged, and should his badge not been taken? Is just being terminated from that department enough? So you answer the question, and we could chat about it in the comments.
And by proxy, it has created even more distrust between cop and community in general. All right, dear sister, what are your thoughts here?
Oh, Dr. Ritchie, this is a lot for a Monday.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch. As a woman who has been a victim of violent battery like that, is very triggering. As a friend to a very close friend whose son was murdered by cops who had schizophrenia. The cops are called on an outburst he was having, and he was shot and killed. So I'm very grateful for this woman and her family that she survived this encounter. It's very scary that the amount of immunity that police have allow them to do these violent acts in front of us, and we just have to watch them, when our instinct is to say, hey, even his cop friend said, hey, this is, we can't do this. We have to trust our guts. We're losing our humanity watching this kind of stuff and thinking, well, the cops got to do it. There's nothing, and we know they don't have to do this. There's nothing to justify why we have these serial killers that get to go to Burger King afterwards and get a pat on the back. So we know.
She's exactly right. And so at the end of the day, I mean, there is necessary probable cause to use excessive force. And there's codes and there's policies and there's guidelines for those causes. In other words, you can't just get physical with somebody, Mr. Policeman, because you feel like it. No, there has to be probable cause and a purpose or a reason for that. The main number one reason is that your life is being placed in jeopardy, that suspect is causing physical harm to you, to themselves, or to others. To you, to themselves, or to others. So those are the reasons for probable cause for excessive force use. Other than that, you're violating the law yourself, Mr. Policeman. And that's exactly what happened.
Oh, they have the ability to do it. And it's not serious enough when it happens to Black women. All of a sudden, oh, there's a lot of reasons, excuses, he didn't know, this and that. There's so little empathy. Yeah. Violence against women is one thing, it's already rampant. And then add Black women to the mix, they're the bottom of the rung in regards to how people react about this kind of stuff. It's very shocking. I'm glad he was fired. And I'm glad that you said what you said, because, he's saying the right things, but does he mean it?
Right. Because he's empowered to actually do much more than he has done. But he wants to transfer that power to an agency that's not actually responsible to the local community in the same way the police chief is. All right. We'll bring updates.
All right, you all. So I say it's abuse of power. They seen a helpless young woman. They knew she had mental illness. She was alone, no close family or friends by, and they took advantage of her. It's called abuse of power. They found a target. They singled her out to have their way with her. It's a power trip. It's an ego trip. And I constantly keep telling you people, we're here to divide and conquer. Divide and conquer is where we're at, people. And I'm going to say it until the cows come, until the cows come home. So share your thoughts, share your thoughts. Glad to have you in the building one more evening. I am your host, School for Justice, here where we live, love, laugh, rise above the occasion, and conquer police brutality. And I will always continue to speak truth to the power. Until next time, fam, take care and salute.